PHA, PHA, PHA.
Please put your hands together for the chief convener of the event, Ms. Indrani Sanyal. Before I would say anything more, may I invite Indrani ma'am? Ma'am, you're there. Okay, good. So why bring ma'am up, out of the blue is because we must tell you that ma'am works from Calcutta, not from Bangalore. And ma'am has managed to get this entire event organized, sitting there, calling us, staying in touch with us, organizing, supervising, and putting in her heart and soul. And ma'am is one of the prime reasons why all of us are here. And for the fact that, the event's going really smoothly, well, except for the AI, glitches that we're trying to face, which is, of course, the challenge that we're going to be facing. Yeah, right. So ma'am, as I said, hails from Calcutta, and she's a general manager, housekeeping, Medica Super Speciality Hospital, Calcutta. Ma'am has put together the entire event, as I said again, with the able guidance of our founder president of PHA, Ms. Jayashree Nagaraj. May I request ma'am to take over the stage now and have this special session curated for all of us, where we have 4 titans, 4 great leaders, experts, who are going to take us through the role of housekeeping and the contributions there can be. Of course, with a touch of AI in the entire session, right ma'am? Okay, so may I invite you here, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sandhya. That was very kind, and a very, very good afternoon to everybody. Before we start, all I want to say is we know housekeeping is important. I don't need to reiterate that. We are all passionate. We are all housekeepers for years. Some of us are legends. We've got legends here. But I just want to add the difference. Housekeeping is not only in hotels. Whilst PHA is the Professional Housekeepers Association, please understand today housekeeping is the most sought after requirement in any and every industry. Trust me. Today I am 6 years with the healthcare, and I had 2 years of facility management where I was a part of a pharma company. I might have done facility planning or housekeeping in a pharma company or in a factory or in a mall, in a retail space. So, and let me tell you, there are best practices that we call it as, today as we call it as environmental services. We take best practices from each other. It is not just about hotels. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to tell you we have been fortunate enough to get with us absolute veterans to discuss and to share with us their insights from the various sectors. And I can promise you that there's going to be a lot of learning. There will be a lot of learning, I'm sure, while they share their insights here. And beyond this, you could always get in touch because they are absolutely veterans and legends in their field. So may I invite on stage, put your hands together first for Ms. Kannamma Babu. She is currently the General Manager FMS at Apollo Hospitals. I would also invite Mr. Amlan Kumar Dasgupta, who is the MD of Chrysalis Mavins Consulting and Private Limited. The third person I'd like to invite and convey my sincere gratitude is Mr. Ajay Singh, who is the former Chief Environment and Housekeeping Manager, South Western Railway. He is another gentleman who I can say is an avid and a passionate supporter of PHA. We again ran into a problem yesterday because the present Miss Priya, who was scheduled to come from the South Western Railway, had an emergency and exigency and work, and she had to excuse herself. And we'd also like to call up Mr. Sampreet Kotian, who is currently the head T2 Kempegowda International Airport, Bengaluru. Please put your hands together. I think we can do better than that. Thank you so much. It is an expert talk session. It is not, we're not doing it like a panel because, to be honest, each is a veteran and each have a lot to share. So I will just introduce their august profiles. That we can't begin the session without knowing, what they've done and what they've contributed to. And then I will open the stage open for each one of them. They will introduce their topics, and we are going to really take in whatever they have to say. So I'd start with Ms. Kannama Babu. She is a seasoned professional with a total of almost 48 years of experience in hospitality and healthcare together. She brings her expertise from the Taj Group of Hotels to her current role, where she is the General Manager, FMS, at remarkable dedication and skill. Under the mentorship of industry legend Ms. Parvati Madana, she plays crucial roles in establishing Taj properties worldwide and contributing to various projects, including Taj Banjara, Taj Connemara, Taj Palace Delhi, Taj Coromandel, Taj Fisherman's Cove, and the Taj Bengal. Transitioning to Apollo Hospitals, she was handpicked by Vice Chairperson Ms. Preeti Reddy, where she seamlessly applied her hospitality expertise. With a knack for staff recruitment, SOP development, and facility management, she has played a key role in setting up specialized units, including Apollo Speciality at OMR Chennai and Apollo Proton Cancer Center Chennai, and the latest edition, Apollo One, which provides personalized patient care from inception to conclusion. Her strengths lie in her passion, team spirit, listening ability, managerial prowess, and ethical approach. Recognized as the living legend by the South India Housekeeping Forum, she acknowledges her family's unwavering support as the cornerstone of her success. When I began my career in Taj Bengal, she was one of the chief housekeepers who had come to train us, so that is how I know her since then, looked up to her. So a warm welcome to you, ma'am, and I hand over the session to you. You could sit in the closet.
Namaste, everybody. I'm a bit nervous with all you youngsters. Sitting there and looking up to me. I hope I deliver what you're expecting. Yes, it's been a very difficult and very learning journey that I have had since the time I started my career. Here, I'm here just to do a comparison between the two institutions. One is the hospital and one is the hotel, since I have seen both sides of these institutes. Housekeeping, if you see, it starts with a warm welcome to the patient or to the guest who comes in, both in hospital as well as hotel. If you see, guests are often floored by the warm welcome in a hotel. In a hospital, no matter how much you do, it doesn't happen because they are already bogged down with whatever health issues they have come with. So you don't get the same impact that you would get in a hotel when you enter the hotel. Also, the font farewell that we do in a hotel is totally different from the font farewell that we give normally. We try to do, but it depends again. In a hospital, it depends on the outcome of the medical procedure that happens. If it's a success, then of course they are happy when they are going, but if there is an issue, then we all know what happens. Happiness. Again, happiness in a hotel is 100%. But in a hospital, satisfaction levels fluctuate based on the health outcomes. If the results are good, fine. If the results are not good, then of course they are unhappy about the results. Services. Hotel afford occasional lapses in service quality, but in a hospital, empathy is crucial and service must be 100%. If not, it can lead to other issues. Again, everybody has spoken about the five senses. It's all about the five senses. It's all about the five senses. In a hospital, patient senses are often suppressed, but in a hotel, it's different. The fragrance, the fabric, the touch, the staff, the look and feel of the place. But in a hospital, the patient senses are often suppressed because of the pain or whatever health issues they have come with. So it's totally different. Check-in and check-out, like how you have in a hotel, it happens even in a hospital. Dates depend on medical procedures and clinical availability. Doctor may say that, yes, you can get discharged today, but it may not happen because a problem can happen anytime between the time of discharge and from the actual time of checkout. But in a hotel, the dates are predetermined. As far as expenses are concerned, in a hotel, mostly it's out of the pocket, but in a hospital, often covered by insurances. Liberty to choose. Guest has a liberty, the freedom to choose whichever hotel he wants to go to. But a hospital, no, it's not so. The patient often ends up there unintentionally. Whichever is the closest hospital, he's basically taken there. Dependency. Guests are mostly independent, but in a hospital, patients depend on everyone, right from the doctor to the room attender. Tolerance. Hotel has high tolerance level. In a hospital, patients often have low tolerance level due to their health conditions. Hygiene and cleanliness. Hotel infection control is not major, but in a hospital, it has to be 100%. In a necessity and choice, in a hotel, casual and discretionary visits can happen. But in a hospital, visits are out of necessity or emergency. Nobody likes to actually go to hospital, but they go because of their health issues. In a hotel, the courage is not a significant factor, but in a hospital, it's a crucial necessity to be courageous. In fact, I can share an incident with you. When I joined Apollo Hospitals, my first, when I saw a dead body coming out from the emergency, I was actually totally petrified. Because we normally in a hotel, we don't see a dead body, a deceased person. So it was a shock for me and took some time for me to come out of it. So that is the state, that is the type of courage we are talking. It's very crucial to be courageous when you're working in a hospital. There are people who are very scream about the blood. When they see blood, they faint. When they see blood, they vomit. When they see pus, they vomit. Smell. But if you are working in a hospital, all this has to be in you. Otherwise, you cannot work. So when I interview somebody, I ask them, what is your reaction when you see blood? So if I see that they have that reluctancy in them, it's a disqualification, not because of their ability or their knowledge, but because of their condition. They cannot mentally accept that. Anger. Guests can express in a hotel, but in a hospital, patient and staff must learn to manage and suppress anger. Fear factor. Fear is almost non-existent in a hotel, but in a hospital, fear is often at its peak. Whether it will be a success, it will not be a success, nobody knows till the end. Satisfaction. If service is good, guests are satisfied in a hotel. But in a hospital, it's difficult to achieve because it depends on the procedure that happens. What is the outcome of the procedure? So if the procedure is successful, then everybody across are happy and satisfied. But if it doesn't happen because of various factors, then there is unhappiness everywhere. So while both hotel and hospital aim to maintain cleanliness and hygiene, critical distinction lies in the purpose behind the service. Housekeeping usually is the fulcrum around which most of the departments revolve. We all know that. Whereas in a hospital, if you see, clinical services, which often comprises of the doctors, nurses, and technicians, takes a vital role. And all the rest of the departments work around them. Whatever said and done, it does not make whether we work in a hospital or in a hospital. It is a positive attitude with empathy and passion, with service mind, which plays a crucial role. So we all are proud members to be in this wonderful hospitality industry, be it a hotel or be it a hospital. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, ma'am. That was really, really, really helpful. And I'm sure you all understand the importance what housekeeping is in a hospital. The doctors may shout at us the most because that's whom they can shout at, but they can't function, a hospital cannot function without the housekeeping. That is for sure. That's my personal experience as well. Now we will move on to Mr. Amlan Kumar Dasgupta. He is a distinguished leader in hospitality and allied industries with over 28 years of experience. Beginning with the Park Hotels, he rose to Director of Sales at the Park Bangalore, achieving remarkable success in sales and marketing. At Saksham Training and Facility Management Private Limited, he excelled as an Executive Director, driving operational excellence. As Group CEO of Concept Group, he managed diverse services from corporate apartments to hotel management. Founding the Chrysalis Mavens Consulting Private Limited, he led strategic consulting, leveraging industry networks for innovation. Roles as VP at Presidency College, Chief Business Officer at Yashas Management Solutions, and others showcased his commitment to skill development and client satisfaction. Amlan's academic foundation with a bachelor's degree in economics from Andhra University and specialized hospitality courses from Cornell University complements his practical expertise, making him a visionary leader. In his hunger to continuously upskill himself, Amlan is pursuing one-year certification in Advanced Strategy Management program under IIM Kozhikode. Committed to growth, Amlan's leadership is enriched by his family, wife Sarojini and daughter Upasana. That's wonderful. So many things about Amlan. He is extremely enterprising. He is an entrepreneur. I think that is another area where we can all explore, and I'm sure that is in all our minds. There are times when we all go through our ups and downs in our careers. So I don't think there's anybody here who has never thought of this. So over to you, Amlan.
Thank you, Indrani, and good afternoon, all of you. It's my pleasure, privilege, and pride, all three of it together, that I am here, and this is my 6th year, I think I am connected with PHA. I still remember when Jayashree first founded it, and I mean, when it was done, that was the time when we spoke, and I was that time into training and facility management. So a great initiative, first of all. I think a round of applause to all the ones who drive PHA and give us an opportunity to present ourselves to the august audiences. And thank you, Indrani, for the wonderful welcoming. Here I am standing before you. I do not want to give a presentation by you, but I would like to tell you on a quick story on entrepreneurship. Okay, I have been an employee. I have been an entrepreneur. I have again been an employee. I again moved into entrepreneurship. So the journey itself shows the curves, the sinusoidal curves that comes in terms of an entrepreneur. But yes, housekeeping, the backbone of, I would say, not only the industry, the entire ecosystem. Today we speak about ESG. What is it? Environmental, social, and governance. So it has housekeeping into it. It has cleanliness into it. It's a lot of things. So today, I start my session with a quote from Albert Schweitzer. Success is not the key to happiness. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. You should be happy to your success. Now I come down to technology and housekeeping, because from the entrepreneurship, I would give you quickly 3 areas where we can be entrepreneurs and get into housekeeping. The conventional ones: open a housekeeping company, open a facility management organizations. These are happening. These are there. But let's view a little beyond that. Let's view on what the writing on the wall is. I just saw AI, artificial intelligence, technology. Yes, that's the writing on the wall. Humans will not fade. We cannot fade. But we have to blend with the technology. So I'm sure all of you must have heard about technologies in housekeeping field like ozone wash. Now ozone wash is coming, right? Robotic cleaning. Slack is a platform in Salesforce, okay, which makes you communicate. WhatsApp is getting replaced. So, in the entrepreneurial services, apart from the conventional ones, there can be, on-demand cleaning apps. On-demand cleaning apps. Can any one of you tell me about one on-demand cleaning apps which is there in India? Urban Clap. Okay. I take it. I'll reserve it for a while. On-demand cleaning apps, I would definitely, yes, that's part of on-demand cleaning apps, but I would name some companies like Handy, TaskRabbit, Home Advisors, okay? Probably some of them have not come into India as well, okay? Now, these are apps, precisely apps where you can book your services and get your place clean and do stuffs like that. Then there are some smart home cleaning devices. One can be entrepreneur. It can be in hotels. When I say homes, it can be hotels, it can be any industries. These are cleaning devices. The robots that can clean, get into precisions, like some of the companies, iRobot Corporation, Ecovacs Robotics, Neato Robotics, etc. The precision is so high that they can get into the nooks and corners. IoT-enabled cleaning management system. IoT-enabled cleaning management system also can be built, allowing for real-time monitoring of cleaning activities, inventory management of cleaning supplies, predictive maintenance of cleaning equipments. One can get in technology. Companies like IntelliRobotics, Diversi, and Kaiwork are the ones. Then there is blockchain-based cleaning services. We all spoke about Urban Clap. Urban Clap is a blockchain. It's not an app. It is a blockchain-based cleaning services. There's a bit of difference, audience. There's a bit of difference. Technologically, I'm not too good to explain. But what I can explain is that the relationship, the journey in a blockchain is much more improvised than that of an app. There are real-time measurements, feedbacks, time taken, absolutely. So one can get into this. One can get into this and create this kind of work in this kind of areas and become an entrepreneur. Well, now we all talk about entrepreneurship, and I have given you some of the areas where we can collaborate and become an entrepreneur. Invest. Somebody, I think Mr. Balaji spoke about that there's a requirement of skill development. There's a huge requirement of skill development. Yes, it is. There's another area you all can become an entrepreneur, whether it's in housekeeping or anywhere. It is skill training. Capacity building. We are all talking about equipments, we are all talking about improvisations, we are all talking about a lot of things happening. Where is the capacity? Who's going to skill us? Where are the trainers? So I was extremely happy to see the white paper being presented, and thanks to Dr. Madhu Chandok and team that there's a research which has come in to this kind of sessions, which really is the need of the hour, because we have to do a lot of capacity building. So, my dear audience, housekeeping doesn't end up with hotels, doesn't end up with hospitals, doesn't end up with aviation, doesn't end up with facility management industries. It goes beyond that. It goes beyond that. Embrace it into the ecosystem. See the fitability. Let's look around. And you can create an entrepreneur out of yourself. Every one of you with a fulcrum in housekeeping. Roam around it. You will find a connect. We build buildings. Spaces are growing. Elon Musk, we're talking about going to Mars. We're talking about we're conquering the universe. But then, we do everything. What is required is cleanliness. What is required is hygiene. What is required is upkeep. Without it, growth would be hacked, would be stacked. So, put up your entrepreneurship hats, each one of you. Think about an entrepreneur as an entrepreneur. Try to make it happen. It's not easy, but let me tell you this. If I am here, I always say this. We all hear stories of rags to riches. We all hear it, stories. He didn't have anything, she didn't have anything. Today, look at her, look at him, you know. They are 1,000 out of 1. And that's what we are looking at. But there are 999 who were lost. So, the journey is not easy. But that doesn't mean that we cannot make it. What is required? What is required? Perseverance. Clarity of thoughts. What and where you want to be. And at the end, I would like to sum up with a quote again from Richard Branson. I think most of us know him. Entrepreneurship is about turning what excites you in life into capital. Entrepreneurship is about turning what excites you into life into capital so that you can do more of it and move forward with it. So that you can do more of it and move forward with it. High dreams, Extremely smart work. I do not know whether Oxford or Cambridge has this word in the dictionary, but I found it myself. Smart, S-M-A-R-D. It is smart and hard work combined. Earlier there was a saying that hard work, then came smart work. I thought, let me blend it. Smart. You cannot be dumb. You have to be smart. And you cannot deny hardship or hard work. So it should be smart work. So I think high dreams, smart works, at times zero bank balance, you will have to understand when you're an entrepreneur. But then there is a satisfaction of achievement when you see you are there. Thank you so much, my dear audiences and respected people. Any questions for me? I will take just two questions.
Thanks for your time. Wish you all the best.
I'm sure we all have questions which we will all connect with you one-on-one. So thank you so much, Amlan, for connecting all the dots so well. And yes, in the morning we heard from Dr. Madhu as well as Mr. Balaji, where patience is important, perseverance is important as it comes out, and we all need to be smart workers. That's a good one. So yes, these are the various points that we all need to remember. Now we move on to the next speaker, the next expert. Who can it be better than Mr. Ajay Singh from the Railways? As I already said, he was a former Chief Environment and Housekeeping Manager. He was with the Indian Railways for almost 34 years. He did various assignments over various units of Indian Railways and has varied experiences in fields of environment, housekeeping besides maintenance, operations, manufacturing, product development, policy formulation, new technology induction, academics, environmental systems, etc. In his assignment as Director Development in the Ministry of Railways during 2007 to 2013, he became interested in environment while heading project of development of bio-toilets for railway application. He has undertaken many environmental initiatives, including several innovative water projects at Railwheel Factory, Bangalore. In his last assignment, he was heading the Environment and Housekeeping Wing for Southwestern Railway with a team responsible for housekeeping of 39 out of 384 stations spread over the geographies of Karnataka, Goa, Tamil Nadu, and Andhra Pradesh. He has voluntarily retired from the railways to pursue his passion in sustainability field with focus on water. So we have the best of both. The railways as we see it today, which I think we have gone miles ahead from what it used to be as a railway travel, at least even 10 years ago. I think any of us would say railways, ticket, washroom, toilet, nothing more than 4 to 5 hours I'm willing to travel. I think we've gone miles beyond that now. And then with such a strong personality and expert on sustainability, Mr. Ajay Singh, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. I was sitting comfortably in the stadium, then suddenly she hit a high one yesterday, high ball, and asked me to come to the inside the boundary and catch it. So I'm here instead of sitting there nicely. I was not sure whether I'm supposed to talk or present, so anyway, I rigged up something and a small presentation about Indian Railways. But it's on technology, enhanced housekeeping. So once again, technology is showing its true colors. Can somebody help there? Okay, I think you have made a PDF, so it will not. Oh, all right. Thank you. So, how many of you love books? Not many readers out there? Okay, reluctant readers. So would you love to read a book or something on a Kindle or a tab? I think all of us who really love books will prefer reading on books only, whatever may be the technology, whether, the Kindle or anything. Nothing can match the touch, the smell, the feel, the five senses as we call it. All senses obviously are not involved here, but this is an example where whatever may be technological development, ultimately books will survive. Whoever are the naysayers, maybe the numbers will come down, but the core readers will remain. I have a tab which I normally use as my reading thing only during flights. At home, I have a big library. Same thing is there for hospitality sector also. Ultimately, it is the touch and feel which is paramount. Any guesses what is the oldest organization in hospitality sector? Sorry? Okay, I can make a claim. Railway is the oldest. We started way back in 1853, and we already always have this dilemma whether we are into transportation or hospitality. But yes, as railwaymen, we do realize that our core business is transportation, but hospitality is something which we have to bother about, especially nowadays, because people are becoming more and more exposed to the developments in hospitality. Even common people, they are moving to airlines, and they are taking journeys in which they are having an entirely different kind of experience. So we have to kind of pull up our socks. We can't be the same railway which has been there for more than a century. If you see a typical train journey, it is, as a railway system, we are very massive. I'll just give an example of scale. We have more than 10,000 locomotives, 70,000 coaches. But I think this will give a current perspective. We handle 23 million passengers each and every day. So this is the kind of customer base we are touching every day. Just I was asking my co-panelist, what is the footfall at KIL, and he told me it's 1.17 lakhs it has touched. Now this is what we are handling at our Bangalore city station every day, so we are matching there. But overall total number of passengers, if you see across the system, we are huge. In a year we are handling almost 8 billion people, which is more than the population of Earth. We have the largest fleet of passenger coaches in the world. It's crossed 70,000. We run more than 8,000 trains every day. Now, another idea of scale which you can relate to is kind of, linen what we handle. We don't even give it in counts. We tell how many tons. Like Bangalore area, every day we handle 23 tons of linen. So that's the volume, and it has to go across various trains, various classes, and we have to prepare for everyone. We are undergoing a massive transformation in last 10 years, and there is lots of emphasis on passengers' comfort besides the safety and other things. And this government, as you might have already noticed and experienced if you have traveled off late, there is lots of emphasis on how a passenger feels at the stations, as well as what is the feel he gets when he's in the journey time. So both the stations as well as the trains are getting upgraded at a very rapid pace. And this is the hardware part of it. Software also we are upgrading, in the sense the kind of service we are providing in the trains, whether it is for linen and other things, or food. Of course, both at the station as well as inside the train, housekeeping plays a very, very important role, because ultimately the user experience is dependent a lot on housekeeping. Nobody wants to get into a station and encounter a dirty platform or anything. We are also evolving technologically. Initially, it used to be just plain broom or something. But now we have ride-on cleaners and lots of other things which are helping us to maintain the level of cleanliness even after we are handling so many of passengers. We have a spectrum of passengers, or you can say customers, whom we tackle, going from the general class to all the way the new swanky Vande Bharats. On the other extreme, we have, the luxury trains which are matching what is there in your industry, the service levels and everything. We have to kind of design our services which will cater for each and every category of passenger. Excuse me, this is not, my train is stuck. Next, please. All right, yeah. So, रेलवेज़ को डिस्क्राइब करने के लिए निदा फाजली साहब का एक शेर है, आपको अर्ज़ करता हूँ. बेसिकली ही इज़ रिटन अबाउट पीपल. हर आदमी में होते हैं 10-20 आदमी, हर आदमी में होते हैं 10-20 आदमी, जिसको भी देखना हो कई बार देखना. So he said it in context of people, but it's very much applicable to railways also. It's such a humongous and huge organization touching most of the country, that if you want to understand railways, you'll have to look at it in details many times. Now, coming to the technology part of it, we do have a technology platform which has evolved. If you are aware, railway has been a pioneer in technology, not only the railway technology per se, whether it is traction or signaling or the stations, but even the IT part of it. One of the first reservation systems in the world was by railways, the passenger reservation system. It is not only one of the oldest, it is one of the most intensively used passenger reservation system across world. For passenger services also, we have developed something called Rail Madad. So I'll just quickly go through it to give a taste of how we are leveraging technology for enhancing customer experience. Now, this is a platform. On the front end of it, you can go access it through website or through an app, and we get good amount of data which is being analyzed at the topmost level. We have, this is an example of a reporting system which is maintained at the reviewed at the top level, where total grievances, you can see more than 2 lakh of grievances in 1 month itself, it is there. It looks very huge, but please understand this is not only grievances, it is also suggestions. And you can imagine if 23 millions everyday passengers into 30, so out of that, this many complaints we are getting. So we do split it into facilities on board, security related, punctuality related. Then facilities on board, what are the issues with cleanliness, electrical facilities problem, water availability, linen. Then at station also, again it is bifurcated in, what are ticketing issues, refund of tickets or luggage parcel related issues. And of course, food is one important factor of train journeys. Nowadays, we are becoming more and more dependent on what is called IRCTC. There also, we are getting all the feedback, and we try to analyze it to have a better service next time. Even railway-wise, we are having evaluation being done, and we have this yardstick of grievance per million passengers. This is for the month of April. You can see NF Railway has been the worst performer, and Eastern, Central, Western Railways have been the top performers. Not only that, we have evolved this system which tells us which are the worst trains. So if I am in Southwestern Railway, I will make sure, my train doesn't figure in this 10 worst trains. If it is there, then, I'll be running around and trying to pinpoint what are the issues, which specific thing is causing problem. Similarly, we have evolved a system where we can tell which are the 10 best performing and the 10 worst performing stations also. So in this way, of course, food is a big, you can say, a problem area. So in food, you can see we further, drill it down, whether it is an issue of overcharging, food and water not being available, others, food quality related, or packaged drinking water issue, or service quality or hygiene issue is there, catering issue is there, even staff behavior there is an issue. So we develop a matrix of what are the problems and which railway, and then we start trying to correct it. Now, I will not go into technical detail of how this platform has evolved, but you can understand every day it is, every month it is handling more than 2 lakh complaints, and these are quite real time. That if you are having that app, if you give a problem, you're traveling, let's say, between Bangalore and Bombay, and you give a problem, and we have a feedback time of almost within 1 hour to 1.5 hours, it is resolved. Please understand, this is not a static hotel. What we are talking about is a moving train which is traveling at 100 kmph, and you may be having the next station coming up after 1 hour, 2 hour, or even 3 hours. Besides this, unlike hotel industry, our publics go through the, our complaints or problems go through the public route also. Many times the social media platforms are used to, flag a problem, and we are responsive towards that also. There have been cases where, food for the babies or, medicines have been asked for on Twitter, and we have been able to provide it well within time by the time the train reaches next station. Now, coming back to technology versus the human touch discussion, I do agree with everybody here that ultimately human touch matters. And I will take this example of peripheral nervous system, medical analogy I'll take. For railways also, when a train is moving, many times resources cannot be provided, parachuted down on a moving train. So it is really the people who are in the train, who are giving the service. They cannot, kind of reach out to a central nervous system, and they are the people who have to be trained, who have to be, acquainted with how to take care of the customers in a very, very limited space, limited time, as well as very limited resources. So that's a challenge, and I think ultimately we have to keep on working with our teams, with our people who are on the ground, kind of train them, make them, enable them to literally think on their feet and attend to the customer requirements and service calls. Ultimately, it's them who will kind of make or break the customer experience. Of course, technology is there, it will help, but people matter. That's all I'll have to share from my side. Thank you. Any questions? I'll take, otherwise, I think you can bring the last slide. There's one slide after this. I can be reached out offline also. Any questions? Okay, thank you very much. And thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mr. Singh. That was really, really a lot of information. And yes, Indian Railways is our lifeline. So the coverage, it was that expansive. And finally, we move on to the aviation. Mr. Sampreet Kotian, with 22 years of operational experience in the hospitality sector, including roles at Kempegowda International Airport, Bengaluru, the Orchid, Rhodas, Waterstones La Sutra, Asian Heart Institute, and Fortis. This gentleman who has graduated from IHM Mumbai, he brings us wealth of expertise. Currently, he's serving as head of T2 operations and experience. He has spearheaded successful projects like DG Yatra, self-bag drop, ATRS lanes, body scanners, and e-gates at Bail. Additionally, his contributions include innovative solutions such as Wi-Fi dispensing kiosks, virtual information desks, assistance robots, and green display units. His leadership has garnered prestigious awards, including the ACI ASQ Awards and Skytrax Awards for Best Regional Airport and Best Staff, and also the CIE Customer Obsession Award. As a strategic business unit head, he oversees operations, formulates strategies, manages stakeholders, controls costs, and maximizes profits. He played a pivotal role in opening the Terminal 2 operations, contributing to its sustainability goals and architectural grandeur. Handing over the mic to you, Mr. Kotian, because there's a lot of terms which I don't think even I have any knowledge to talk about.
Nothing like that, ma'am. Hello? Okay. Just keep it at a point. Yeah. So good afternoon, all of you. I was actually sitting down with my colleague out there, Harihara Sudan, and I was having a word with Ms. Bharti Kalappa as well, who was handling the services department at our airport before. And I was saying that this is a very eclectic mix of people out here. I can see people who are from hotels, from hospitals, from aviation, from academia, from facility management. But somehow the life, the energy in this room is missing. I mean, I think we should do something to just get it up. So let me try my best and do it. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to be speaking about the impact and scope of housekeeping in airport operations. And as Indrani ma'am said that I head the terminal experience and operations at Kempegowda International Airport, Bangalore. Do I qualify to stand here and do this presentation? Yes, maybe, because I started off as a hotel management student, and I did my studies from IHM Bombay, and thereafter I joined as a management trainee. So I had my bit of experience in housekeeping, though I finally chose front office and became a front office manager, then a rooms division manager, a general manager, and so on. Today I'm going to be speaking about airport operations, but yes, I will be touching upon certain bits of hotels and hospitals as well. The comparison that ma'am has spoken about, and also something that Mr. Ajay has spoken about with regards to how it is dynamic, how it is different, right? I'll go to the next slide. So I'll start off with the topic because it was said that we are supposed to be housekeeping titans. I'm not a titan at all. And this is supposed to be a talk on immaculate innovations. And when I talk about innovations, I think Kempegowda International Airport, Bangalore, is something that stands as one of the greatest innovation in the field of airports, because now you are coming to a terminal where you don't feel that you come to an airport. You feel that you come to a museum, and then yes, you can do a lot of airport-related stuff in that particular place. So I'll just show you a small video to begin with, and thereafter I shall start my presentation. Can we have the audio, please? So can we have a show of hands as to how many people have traveled through this particular terminal and, by now? I guess a lot of people have. But then this video was also there on social media, but I thought it appropriate to be played out here so that in case if anybody has missed out on it, this would be the great opportunity to catch up. In the end, we actually showed 4 particular icons. Would anybody be able to recollect what were the last 4 icons that you saw? Very good. Sustainability. Anything else? Art and culture. Technology, yes. And the most important thing, terminal in a garden. And trust me, all these 4 cannot be handled by this airport until unless the housekeeping team, the services team pulls up its socks and does a really, really good job. Yeah? Now I'll just touch upon topics when it comes to the challenges that we face with this new terminal. In fact, I used to head the previous terminal, T1, and that was built over a span of around 155,000 square meters. And this one is actually a much bigger animal. This spans around 255,000 square meters. Challenges that we face as opposed to hotels and hospitals. The first thing that is, it's a national asset and infrastructure. So we have a lot of international passengers traveling through our terminal. And it becomes of utmost importance that we put our best foot forward and ensure that everything is spick and span, right? Because we are representing the nation out here. Second is the presence of statutory agencies. Can you imagine a hotel or a hospital having a police station inside the premises? We can't, right? But yes, we do have the customs, we do have the immigrations, we do have the CSF, we do have the APHO. All these are government statutory agencies who are working inside the premises. And everybody has a different need, a different task of the housekeeping team and the operations team as well. Next is the high volume frequency footfalls. I guess when we look at hotels, we do have a check-in, check-out time, right? A dedicated time. So that's when our housekeeping team is actually running around and getting things in action, and the turnaround of rooms that have to be done, front office after the housekeeping after the engineering, and that's a constant process, right? And when it comes to hospitals, yes, there are emergencies which do happen when you have a whole lot of passengers coming through to the emergency ward and they need to be treated. But otherwise, if you look at it, there is a general trend. I mean, when it's the OPD time, that's when you have a lot of passengers flocking through. And when it is non-OPD time, you have the IPD patients who are naturally taken care of, right? When it comes to airports, the challenge is that it's never ending. I mean, earlier we used to always feel that the domestic sector, the domestic part of the airport is crowded during the part of the day, and during the night, we have got the international because of the global time difference which comes into play. But now with red-eye flights which are operating, I mean, you have got flights operating at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So whatever time we used to get to do maintenance, right, and do a proper cleanliness and deep cleaning and upkeep of, say, the washrooms, the public areas, everything goes for a complete toss. So we just have to make sure that we coordinate very closely between the operations and the housekeeping team and make out those time slots so that we can still get some real thorough deep cleaning done. It's quite a challenge, but we somehow managed to push through it. In fact, I was always talking to Bharti, and we used to always have this constant tug of war. She used to be like, I need time to do this work. And I used to be like, whatever time, this is the time slot it is there, you have to get it done. You can put more manpower on the job, but you have to get it done. And that's how we used to work it around. Different emotional graphs. Now, people, as Madam had said, that when you come to a hotel, you're in a different frame of mind. When you come to a hospital, you're a different frame of mind. The challenge with airports is you're dealing with multiple people with different thoughts, different frames of mind at the same time. Somebody, there could have been a death in the family and they're traveling. Somebody going to take up a new job, a new responsibility, super thrilled. Somebody taking a long-awaited trip. It's different reasons, different emotions, but we as a team have to cater to everyone. Demographic and economic extremes. As Mr. Ajay said, that a lot of people have started traveling through, though initially they were traveling through railways, now they have moved on to traveling by airlines because the fares at a given point of time saw a tremendous cut, and that enabled people to take air journeys. And now, once they get a taste of it, they want more of it. So you have different strata of society using airports, and that's where we are catering to different demographic types and economic extremes as well. Now, can we offer different service as an airport? No, we can't. Like in hotels, we have got different classes. You've got a deluxe room, you've got an executive room, a suite room, a presidential suite room. And when it comes to hospitals, you've got a common class, you've got a common AC, you've got a twin, you've got a deluxe, you've got a suite. But in case of airports, we really can't do that, kind of demarcation. You need to have the same services provided. I mean, in the same washrooms, you would be having the same set of tissue papers which are there. You will be having people coming and saying that there's a misuse happening. There'll be people coming and saying you should have hand dryers. Why are you using tissue papers? And at the same time, there'll be other people coming and saying that the people who are currently using airports, they don't know how to use hand dryers. You should be having more of tissue papers provided. So there are different thought processes, but there is just one airport, and we have to cater to all these kind of extreme people. Constant media glare. I guess if anything happens, the airports are the first ones to get picked up. I mean, if it rains in Bangalore, what is the first news that you hear? The airport is flooded. The first thing that you hear is the airport is flooded. Even if it is a strike, even if it is anything, the first thing that happens is a couple of people will come to the airport and they'll do a dharna just for 5 minutes. But it gets played up in the media that there was a huge, a lot of gathering of people who have come to the airport, and it's completely choco-block, and people get tensed, and they try to come early, and they try to be there at the airport so that they don't end up missing their flights. And that's when the extra pressure falls on us as the operations and the housekeeping team, because the people who are supposed to be coming just 1 or 2 hours prior to the flight, they come maybe 6 or 8 hours prior to the flight. So you can imagine the kind of people that we're catering to at a given point of time. So normally we say that at a given point of time, we would be having around 5,000 to 6,000 people, okay, spanning from the curbside to the counters to the security and to the boarding gates area who are present at the terminal. But during such instances, it can go up to 8,000, 10,000 also. And that is quite taxing for us as an airport. Last is the social media claim to fame. Mr. Ajay just showed us a tweet in which a baby got milk because there was a tweet which came out. But here, what we see is there are some good queries which come through and we immediately attend to it. There are some really good suggestions that come through, which we definitely take it very positively and try to action it. But a lot of people are so social media trigger happy that they just take that opportunity and post one thing and they will try to portray the airport in a very different light. And then when we reach out to those passengers, because we have got a very, very active social media team, this airport, okay? And when we reach out to the passengers, they say, no, your airport is really good as compared to Delhi, Bombay and all. This was just that one aspect, Previously also I've traveled with your airport, but it's been a very good experience. So just that one thing, I mean, they'll do something and then there'll be retweets and there'll be people liking it. It's all about gathering more followers and becoming more accomplished on the social media platforms. So these are the major challenges that we face out there. Now, we'll go into other detailed reasonings why we feel that handling an airport of this particular size is a huge challenge. So, as we said, terminal in a garden, one of the pillars on which this entire airport terminal has been built is you see a lot of greenery out there, right? Any idea how many plants would be there in Terminal 2? Take a wild guess. How many plants? 1 lakh, 2 lakhs? More than that? 1 crore. That would be too much for us to manage. But I'll just give you a rough figure. It's around 6 lakh plants that we're talking about, right? And that's not a small number. And this includes 180 endemic plants, which are very specific to our state. Okay? And there are 770 transported plants, which have been brought in from various parts of India and various parts of the country. And now when you get that in out here, and then you manage it, it's not an easy task. So our housekeeping, our horticulture teams have their hands full. They've got a nursery. They get it from different parts of the country. They keep it in the nursery, nurse it to health, maybe for a year, year and a half, and then they get it to the terminal. They get it acclimatized to this kind of setup. And then they have to constantly nurture it so that, it doesn't die down. Yeah? It's, as you see, we see this gigantic bells on the right side of the screen. Have you ever wondered how do you maintain? And even the first question that gets asked to us is, are those plants for real? And we say yes. And the next following question is, how do you maintain them? And that's where technology does play its part, because on these bells, okay, the base, the dia of the bell is actually a water reservoir. And we are using IoT-based sensors. So for each and every plant that is there on the plant, on that particular bell, you would be having the sensors which will tell us what is the moisture content of the root of the plants. So based on the moisture content, if it goes lower than 25%, the drip irrigation facility will get activated. The water from the reservoir will go right up to the top and then drop down to exactly that same plant. It's not an easy task. I mean, during our initial stages when we were doing our RAT, we used to have those waterfalls happening from the bells as well, not from the actual waterfalls there. But now we are in a much better state because this is all IoT based, and we have a team sitting across in one of the offices on a dashboard, and they constantly monitor this. Yeah? Like every team faces this, we do provide bins, but unfortunately the waste doesn't go into the actual bins. So this is the state of our check-in counters. Okay, so most of the airlines, most of the ground handlers, you can do the best amount of training, but this is what you're going to be seeing at the end. So it's a constant tussle between the housekeeping teams and the airline ground handlers team in the ecosystem. And we are fighting a losing battle, I would say. This is the misuse of washrooms at the airline's office level. I'm not getting into the passenger part as yet. This is only related to staff. So though we have a pantry section, though we have got enough bins, the staff find it very appropriate to actually take their tiffin boxes and go and clean it at the sinks, resulting in clogging. You can see how it's grossly misused, but then we constantly have these awareness sessions with the team members. If you see the dates out there, I mean, it's as recent as December 2023, Jan 2024. So constant training, constant reinforcing is definitely required. Tobacco stains at basement and BOH areas, a very sad state. But due to the fact that we have taken over from the projects and then we are running an operating terminal. We started off with domestic operations first, and while the international side was getting ready, we were fully operating domestic operations. Then we started off with international operations, so we had a lot of project team workers who are already on the ground working in that particular area. Now, managing to get them to follow your basic hygiene and sanitation rules itself is a huge problem. And this is what we see before we started the international operations. And even in our the employees who work in our ecosystem, you get people from different strata. So there are certain people who still enjoy chewing on their pan and beetle, and these are stains that definitely come now and then we have our team which is very kind enough to still go forward and handle these kind of challenges. Passenger behavior, I used to always think this happens only in railways. But then when we came to the airports, we realized that it was no different, right? People just tend to, I mean, there are some people who don't even remove their shoes before they keep it on the seats. So it's very, very challenging, and any amount of convincing that you try to do with the passengers, you never know when it can turn back into a passenger complaint and hit us back itself. So this is something that we constantly tell our team members. We have even put signages at different points so that passengers understand that this is a facility for them, and misusing of the same facility would not be appropriate. But as I said, different strata of society, different people, it is challenging. Aero bridges, rotunda cleaning challenges. This is something wherein the airlines, what does an airline do as soon as the aircraft lands? The first thing that they need to do is clean the aircraft, right? Are you all aware? The aircraft cleaning happens, then the security check happens, and thereafter they start the boarding for the flight. So what does the airline staff do? Airline housekeeping staff. They remove all the garbage from the aircraft and they keep it outside at this particular point. And that results in our carpets getting stained out there. After they are done with it, they will remove the garbage and they'll take it off from there, but then we have to do the cleaning from our side. So again, this is an understanding that we need to build between two housekeeping teams which are there in the ecosystem, which is again challenging. See, in a hotel and a hospital, the entire team is ours. But in an airport environment, it's really very different. And it's much more challenging because it's complex. What have we done with regards to AI? Because this is one topic that we were asked to touch upon. So we have started with a digitalized feedback management system. And I mean, it's very simple. Okay, before I go into this, I'll just ask a question. How many of you use DigiYatra out here? DigiYatra? Very good, very nice. I would implore all the others also who are not using it to start using it. And this is a very funny anecdote with regards to the CEO of DigiYatra, Mr. Suresh Kadakbavi. So we were about to start with the feedback management system, and he said that let's try facial biometrics for this. And I was like, what do you mean by that? So he said, when a passenger goes to the washroom and when they come out, if they got a satisfied look, then it should be a green signal and it should be a tick. And I was like, Sureshji, you're taking biometrics too far. Let's just stick to the QR code, and this is what we got thereafter. So the QR code comes into place. The photograph of the person who is actually servicing that particular washroom is right up there. And this enables that person, they know for sure that anything goes wrong in that particular area, they are going to get the brickbats for it, and if everything is fine, they'll get the appreciations for it. So there's more ownership that comes from that particular person. And also we get real-time feedback from the passengers, and if in case there is any negative, I mean, we have our level 1, level 2, level 3 escalations which happen, and that's promptly attended to, and the passenger is met and taken care of. SRA disposal, again, very important. How many of you have traveled through the airport, gone through the hand baggage screening, and then you have to miss out on certain items which you're not supposed to carry? All of us, at some point of time, right? So here, what's challenging is all that garbage also, if it is segregated in 3 different manners, it becomes much more easier for the housekeeping team to dispose it of. I mean, we really had multiple training sessions for our CISF personnel, in fact, because this is something which is done by the CISF team rather than the passengers, because from the passengers it is confiscated. But then if you can segregate it in the proper bins, it definitely helps. So avian moment reduction, we all know that because we have aircrafts that are flying around, bird airstrikes is something that is of very much importance to us. So we have got a BASHM team, a bird airstrike and hazard management team, which definitely is there to take care of them. But then because previously we used to use spikes and laser beam technology and all, but that's not very conducive for the avian community. So what we have done is we have started using a gel, a bird repellent gel, which is an ESG initiative from our side, which we have used on all the surfaces of the terminal building, which helps repel the birds, and we are not actually hurting the avian community as such. Digitalization, this is again a very big step which was taken by the housekeeping department of our airport. And trust me, it was so successful that all the other departments of the airport were asked to follow suit and start doing the checklists and the training processes on this digitization platform. So it's very simple. You see that on the first screen, the first icon which is there, you have to select on that particular app. It opens up, it gives you login credentials, you log in, and then you go into that particular screen wherein you have to press synchronize. Once you do that, it opens up into which area you're going in for. Then it will open up into what task you want to do it. And then it gives you an option to fill in your feedback with regards to the same. So you as a user, you as a supervisor can both fill in that details, and in the end you press synchronize. So using this, what we have done is the internal quality audit of all the restrooms and common areas are now done on this digitalized app. Your sanitization, your misting, anything that has to be done, the audits, is done on this particular app. Your training reports, because the normal tendency is whenever there's a training audit going to happen, we all start filling up the training attendance forms, do a backdated thing, and then we put it through. But this is not the case. Everything is digitalized, and we actually record it. Next comes the handover and takeover reports. Again, due to paucity of time, there are many a times in the airports that there is an emergency and everybody is running helter-skelter doing some work, and when it is time for the transport to take the personnel back home, we do face a challenge there. So in those cases also, the handover and takeover, which has been digitized, definitely does help. Lost and found observations and the SRA report, the SRA bins that I spoke about, security restricted articles, that can also be done out here. So a 52-week cleaning schedule entirely sits on this. Your shift-wise updating, monitoring, everything sits on this, and assigning and analyzing any service and quality audits can also be done on this. So the service providers that work very closely with the housekeeping team at the airports, we can also assign them jobs and get the feedback with regards to whether it has been done or no, and then action upon the same. We are doing POC for waterless urinals at our airport. We have already done POCs with 3 of the companies. And we feel that it could be the right way forward. So we are just doing a complete analysis, and we'll be taking a call on taking this forward. Robotic cleaning in public areas, we have done our trials, and it's very interesting, very unique. But the challenge being that if it at a single platform, single layer, if it is not at multiple levels, then this works very beautifully. It can be used for scrubbing, mopping, even as a tug, in case if there is any heavy items that needs to be pushed through. And as you see, it is completely automatic. So this is also something that we have done as a POC, and if successful, we will be taking it forward. How do we do all this and still ensure that our team is motivated? Because I used to always tell my team that housekeeping is one department whom people notice only when they are not present, right? If the team is present and if everything is working and everything is neat and clean, then there is no accolades which come to the housekeeping. But if something is wrong and if it is not maintained properly, that's when everybody looks around and says, where is the housekeeping department, right? So how do we go about turning things and making them feel motivated, and as a workforce give them the due importance so that they feel like coming to work and make a difference to our airport? International Housekeeping Day, which normally is celebrated in hotels and hospitals, we actually took it forward and we started doing it at our airport as well. So on day one, what we did is we called all the vendor team kids and we did a poster competition for them. On day 2, we had competitions between different vendor team members itself. So different agencies came together and we had some funny games. Then we had a thank you note and a selfie competition. So every employee of BIAL, what we did is we wrote a nice little thank you note from the housekeeping team to them. And we said that we would really appreciate if today you can actually take a selfie with the personnel, housekeeping personnel who's servicing your washrooms or who's giving you service as an admin staff, and share it with us. And the best selfies would win a prize. So on that particular day, everybody wanted to click selfies with the housekeeping staff. And what happened is they came back later and they told us we never felt so important in this entire organization until now. And this is something that we really enjoyed. This is the feedback which came from the housekeeping staff itself. Then we had some skits that we did near the Alpha 2 canteen, a Swachh Bharat skit, and they also danced. The housekeeping staff, they practiced. We brought costumes for them, and we did the entire dance performance on the curbside. So even the passengers could see what was happening out there. And they were all very happy that International Housekeeping Day being celebrated at the airport. That's a really great thing to do. We did a pest control at one of our Devanali villages, which we had adopted, and we did a awareness session for the kids and the villages. And then we did something which was kind of unthinkable. We did a fashion show of the housekeeping staff. So we really had the housekeeping staff in uniforms strut their way through on the red carpet to nice Bollywood music. And thereafter, they even performed dance numbers, and it was well appreciated by everyone. In the end, we also got the passengers to be part of it. We did a wall of fame, and we encouraged all the passengers to write small little thankful, heartfelt notes for the housekeeping staff who are servicing them day in, day out. And trust me, not a single passenger turned their way back. They all came up and they wrote sweet little heartfelt notes, and they stuck it to the wall themselves. And at the end of it, we clicked a photograph with all the team members there. We had some interactive games for the passengers. Now, when you have games, the best part is when you gift an award, who normally does the honors? The top guy, right? But here what we did is we made the housekeeping staff give the awards to the passengers. So again, they felt very important. And even the passengers appreciated the fact that this is a really good gesture that you guys are doing. So these are small things that we do that go a long way in motivating our team force. And they are always there to do beautiful things for us. Even the games that we played, every game had a meaning. So if they play a particular game, what does that game mean? What is the takeaway that you take from it? That is very important for us. So what we do is we make them play the game. At the end of it, we give them the actual meaning of that particular game. So they read it and then they realize, oh shucks, I didn't realize that. And that's what registers with them, and that goes a long way for us to make sure that even the passengers who are traveling through our terminal be a very integral part of whatever housekeeping related activities we take care. Coffee with CEO, so recognizing our service stamps. No, done. Last. So recognizing our service stamps, this is our ex-CEO and the present CEO. What we do is we had a session with them, and trust me, based on the positive feedback that all the personnel get, we give them these awards. If you see this list, except for 4 people, rest everybody is from the housekeeping team. So that is the kind of work that you guys do and the accolades that the team gets. So full marks to them. And this is my last slide. This speaks about the Skytrax awards that we have recently won. Skytrax is like the Oscars of the film industry. And we got the best regional airport in India and South Asia. We also won the 2nd position when it comes to the world's best new airport terminal, the first being Newark terminal, which has opened up. And the most important, underline, the cleanest airport in India and South Asia. That's a big win for us. And this is a small little video which has come up on social media. I'll just let you have a look at it. Can we have the audio, please? So it's Namma team, Namma Hemme, and Namma BLR Airport. So we are really proud of them and really proud of the work that the team does. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Kotian. That was, we all agree, I think it is one of the cleanest, it is the cleanest airport in India. That we are all experiencing it day in and day out. Thank you so much. That was a lot of housekeeping from different sectors. So I won't keep everybody away from, the next activity, which I think I know everybody's waiting for. May I call Dr. Madhu Chandok to please felicitate our experts.
PHA, PHA, PHA.
We first felicitate Ms. Kanama Babu. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Amlan, thank you for your insights.
PHA, 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 PHA.
Mr. Ajay Singh. And Mr. Kotian.
PHA, 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 PHA.
Thank you very much, all of you all, for all your valuable inputs and sharing of experiences.